Welcome to Pandora. Today we're mapping out every beat of James Cameron's Avatar saga in chronological order, from early Pandora history to the first two movies, and even what's officially on tap for the sequels. We'll start with the big hook and then trace the timeline era by era. Buckle up for a wild ride through bioluminescent forests, oceans, and volcanoes. All begins on Pandora, a lush, bioluminescent moon orbiting a gas giant. By 2154, Earth's Resources Development Administration, RDA, has already colonized Pandora and is strip mining a rare mineral, often called unobtainium, to fix Earth's energy crisis. Former Marine Jake Sully arrives that year via the RDA's Avatar program. To survive Pandora's atmosphere, he reborns himself in a Na-6 avatar body. But when Neytiri of the Omaticaya Na-6 saves Jake's life, he abandons his orders and embraces the Na-6 way. Of course, this means war. Jake unites the Na-6 clans and fights back against the human invaders. In a climactic battle at Home Tree, the Na-6 defeat the RDA, destroying the mining base and forcing the humans off Pandora. By the end of Avatar, set in 2154, Jake is accepted fully into the Na-6 tribe as Toruk Makto, and Neytiri becomes his mate. Fun fact: according to official summaries, this conflict is literally described as a clash of civilizations that decides the fate of Pandora. After the credits roll on Avatar, you might think the story was over, but Cameron actually hints at more conflict before the sequel. In a Dark Horse graphic novel called Avatar, The High Ground, 2022, we see the Na-6 interim battle against returning humans. Cameron explains this novel tells the story of Na-6 fighting between Movie 1 and Movie 2. For fans, this means Avatar 2 didn't just drop straight from peace into conflict. There were years of guerrilla warfare first. It even features crazy sights like Na-6 hunters in Zero-G. So imagine the Sully family preparing for bigger trouble even before The Way of Water. Fast forward more than a decade after the first film. Jake Sully and Neytiri now have a Sully family. By official word, the sequel introduces Jake, Neytiri, and their kids living in Pandora's jungles. The RDA hasn't given up. Colonel Quaritch, stripped into a clone Na-6 body, is still obsessed with hunting Jake. When Quaritch attacks, Jake's growing family is forced to flee their home. They end up at the reef with the ocean-dwelling Metkayina clan, learning a whole new way of life. The movie's timeline isn't explicitly dated, but we know it's well after the first movie, about 10 to 15 years later. The official synopsis simply notes set more than a decade after the events of the first film, and that it picks up the story of the Sully family facing new battles to keep each other safe. By now, Jake and Neytiri have 5 kids, 3 sons and 2 daughters, including their adopted daughter Kiri. The climax Under the Sea sees the Sullus allying with Metkayina to fend off Quaritch's assault. Think giant Na-6 sea creatures and killer squids. Quaritch is finally defeated, and the RDA's water base is destroyed. When the dust and tsunami settles, the Sully family survives to defend Pandora another day, but not without loss, and the mysterious awakening of baby Kiri, suggesting deeper Na-6 mysticism at play. In any case, by the film's end, the RDA has been pushed back again, and Jake vows to train the next generation of warriors, hinting at future conflicts. And now we look ahead to the officially announced sequels. The third film is officially titled Avatar: Fire and Ash, scheduled for release December 19th, 2025. We don't have a movie yet, but interviews give big hints about the timeline. It likely picks up several years after the second film. In a recent interview with Empire, Cameron revealed that the heroes will face a new Na-6 faction, the volcano-dwelling Ash tribe. Their leader, Varong, played by Una Chaplin, has survived in Pandora's fiery mountains by any means necessary. Cameron teases that Varang's people have endured horrific loss, so they now do things we would consider evil to protect themselves. In other words, for the first time, the Na-6 won't be purely good guys. Our heroes will face tough moral choices, the tricolor war. Humans versus Na-6 versus Na-6. VO. We also know some cast news. Upcoming films will introduce Dr. Karina Moog, Michelle Yeoh, and bring back Parker Selfridge, Giovanni Ribisi, from the first movie. What roles they play in Fire and Ash or beyond is still a mystery. One thing is certain. With the Ash tribe and whatever remains of the RDA pressing in, the Sully family's survival will be on the line again. As Cameron puts it, the Ash tribe's arrival creates a significant threat to Jake and Neytiri, and it forces them to rethink everything. The RDA, after all, is still a looming threat on Pandora at this point. Past Fire and Ash, the saga is set to continue. James Cameron has confirmed a fourth film, untitled as of now, planned for late 2029 and a fifth after that. Story details are under wraps, but the world of Pandora is only getting bigger. Cameron himself has said he had too many good ideas to stop at 4 sequels. We do know the general plan. Each film will further explore different parts of Pandora. Cameron hinted at polar regions, more tribal lands, etc., and test the Sullys in new ways. So expect Avatar 4, tentatively 2029, and Avatar 5, early 2030s, to pick up right where Fire and Ash leaves off, eventually building to a grand finale. Official tie-in media also fills in some lore. For example, Cameron's original Avatar 2 script, titled The High Ground, became a 2-part graphic novel. Released around 2022, this novel shows the years between Avatar and Way of Water, including the Nausicaa space battle mentioned earlier. It even features wild ideas like Nausicaa fighting in Zero-G. Beyond that, Avatar Studios has hinted at more animated projects on Pandora, a Netflix animated series Avatar. The High Ground is in development, set just before Way of Water, but details are still emerging. In short, the Avatar timeline spans thousands of Nausicaa years, from mythic clans to legendary Toruk Makto heroes. But for our purposes, the key chronology is humans land on Pandora, 22 ND century. Avatar takes place in 2154, a decade of unrest follows. Then Avatar, The Way of Water, circa 2170s, over a decade later. And the saga will continue with Fire and Ash, 2180s, and beyond. Conclusion: whether you're a lore geek or a casual fan, that's the complete official timeline of James Cameron's Avatar universe, from the first steps on Pandora to future depths we've yet to see. Drop a comment with your favorite Avatar moment, and subscribe for more deep dives into movie timelines.